Alrighty then, this is a video I'm making mostly for posterity. This is my shed at what will become my old house. This house, or this shed, is approximately 8 by, I want to say 15 or 17 feet inside. It's a metal shed, and I have put insulation in it to try and make it a little more comfortable in the winter and summertime. We're just going to do a quick tour of everything in it. And we'll start with up here, where I have on the shelf on the left and all across the top are parts for lawnmowers. There's some extra solder. This and this are power supplies. This is a power supply I built in a previous video. On here we have more stuff for working on mowers, and a power supply I built in an old APC. There's videos about that, where I installed this voltmeter on it. That powers this drill, and I control the voltage with that variac. Below it we have various bins for screw bits and other stuff, some labeled, some not. We have all my gauges. And down here, this is it's about a 10 amp isolation transformer, also built out of an old APC UPS. We have a computer that I bought off eBay for very little money, that everything is built into the display with a small laptop style wired keyboard. My Harbor Freight lamp, a Weller soldering iron that I got from an estate sale for $5. This voltmeter, which I got from a Goodwill, but it looks like I cleaned off the price. I don't think it was very much, like no more than $5. We have a clock that I've made a homemade dial that looks like an altimeter. A camera that shows the outside of my shed, since there's no windows. This is a radio out of an old out of a car that a friend of mine I used to work with gave me. I've since hooked it up to 2 speakers in the corners here, and then there's an antenna on the roof. Up here we have some storage stuff. This is the old range vent or hood vent from my stove in the kitchen. When we got a new one, I lubed up the motor and brought it out here. It works pretty good. Storage. I have made as much use out of every square inch of this building as I could. So there's stuff stored everywhere. Parts, paint. Paint is only stored out here in the wintertime. I move it all back into the house in the summer. More bins for screws and whatnot. We have all the tools on my pegboard. A custom built bench that I made. My toolbox that I bought when I was in college, getting my airframe and power plant mechanic license. I think that cost me like $200. There's underneath the, which you can just barely see, there's a generator, some various stuff, a stash of wiring, and another emergency generator. And then we're going to move over to a first set of shelves. These shelves came from my dad. When he passed away, I inherited them. And up on top there are a couple of some speakers out of an old console stereo. Not sure if I'm going to do everything with them. Fan. I think I found that at my wife's mother-in-law's house. My mother-in-law's house. Various tool storage of tools that I've acquired over the years. Black & Decker router. Got that at a Goodwill for a pretty good price. These were something, this is from Goodwill. Dillon Precision Reloader. Various tools that I've acquired, got for free or whatnot. A small AC motor that I got from my mother-in-law's house. More tools. A project I need to finish. That train. Alright. Spools of wire. More tools. There's a little pump back there. Crawfish trap. Some large propane burners. The charge controller battery box from my trailer. A projector. A SCBA, a fire department SCBA that I didn't realize a couple of years ago was still fully charged with air. And then the blue one is something for a project I never did. I was going to install an air horn in my truck. And we have the drain auger that I bought off of eBay that they threw around. And just, miscellaneous stuff. The old light fixtures from this shop, which are going to go back before I move. And you can see the LED ones I installed and now I've got to take down. Lots of extra parts and bits from lawnmowers that I've picked up and parted out or whatever. Parts from a go-kart engine that ended up not being repairable. The generator I built with the Pololu. My ultrasonic cleaner. A jigsaw I picked up at a flea market. My Oregon electric chainsaw. UPS that I've converted so that it could use external batteries because it's a real pain in the butt to put batteries inside it. 900 watt generator. The bearing puller I built. An engine, the Tecumseh engine I've worked on. And then a trash Tecumseh engines in that box. And this is a bunch of flexible exhaust tubing for a project I never did, but I might do later. And we have all of my pneumatic tools put up on a board. Craftsman El Cheapo bench drill press that I got from Goodwill. This came from mother-in-law's house. This is my the bottom part of my toolbox that I got when I worked as an aircraft mechanic. I don't remember how much it was, like maybe $300. Then we've got various bits and stuff, propane tanks, map gas, more stuff sorted, bits and metal, a vise that I picked up from my mother-in-law's house and refurbished, some trailer hitch parts, storage for various oils and whatnot, homemade towel dispenser. This was a AC unit that we got from a friend from probably 15-20 years ago, maybe about 20 years ago, and it was still under warranty at the time. It broke down and then got fixed. Still works as of 2021. And this is my just a bench grinder and the shelves that I built for it. I installed, at one point I was going to have it hooked up so I could have water in here if I needed. There's a drain for it. I could hook up a hose to the outside. And then that is from a sink. My volt amp meter for the building. My Makita charger. And stuff, my really expensive tool case that I bought when I was a computer tech. I used to carry that around everywhere, and I think that was like $175 for that case. Animal trap, a free shop vac, toolboxes that came from my dad, cheap Chinesium mini lathe that I've used a couple of times, various and sundry parts on tools on pegboard, Ryobi bandsaw that I painted gray. I did an unboxing video on that. And more tools. Another vise. This one I bought. And of course, this bench, I built this. It actually was made out of a train layout that I had built. And my Adam Savage Savage Industries apron, and then this other apron that I got off of Amazon. Bucket Boss. And of course, my chair. And then of course the floor, which is just about ready to fall through, so I won't miss that when I move out. And oh yeah, a fan which I put up there and I've never used. And the phone system, it's a 2-line or closed circuit phone system, goes to the kitchen. I think I did a video on this one also. There's the other phone. So that's about it. This is my shed. Later.